Okay. So tell me how it was to attend my one-day Saturday event and what you got out of that.
Yeah, very powerful event. Very powerful event. It was, yeah, I don't want to sound redundant and continue to say powerful, but there was a lot that I got out. Some of the specific things, there was one person in particular that you were coaching. I got to see that process, and I really related to the gentleman. I really related to his story and just where he was at in life and things that he was wrestling with. And it was amazing to see how you, I would say, first helped him to find where he was at. Mm-hmm. He was very resistant to that and had a lot of lies and you had to push him, to really go there. And I saw, because for me, I know where sometimes I needed to be pushed, and it was great to see how you were able to push him where you needed to be pushed. But then there were times where he, became emotional because he was touching on some, very sensitive things for him, and how you sort of were able to switch and nurture him where he needed to be nurtured. And it was, I felt like I was on that journey with him.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see how you were so intuitive in being able to give him exactly what he needed. First of all, find out where he was at, and then to begin to direct him and to coach him on where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just powerful, because a lot of times I found that coaches, they're typically either they're great at either one of two things. They're either great at mindset or they're great at strategy.
Yeah.
And the coach who's great at mindset, he could help you to sort of find that place or find your path, all the internal work and psychological barriers, but he can't really give you the strategies that you need to do something with that new mindset.
Right.
Or you have the person who's all strategy, like, okay, you need to do this, but you have these old ways of thinking, these old mindsets that he doesn't even bring to the table in terms of, obstacles to you getting there.
Yeah.
And for me, I saw with everyone that you coached, with that particular gentleman, I identify with him the most, but how you were able to give them first the mindset, but then also some tools and some strategies on how to get to where they wanted to be. And I just thought that was, I just really haven't seen that. And I thought it was mind-blowing how you encompass both, oftentimes, as a man, I felt like, wow, I could be coached by her. And sometimes as a man, you feel like a woman can't coach you because you don't feel like she can understand you. And you coached men and women that day and understood them both at a deeper level than someone typically does when dealing with someone of the opposite sex. And I thought that was powerful, and it was like, okay, I never felt like it was never a credibility issue, like in terms of you're qualified or anything like that, but it was just like, okay, can this person understand me? And that day I felt like that you would be able to understand me so that you can really, probably, help me.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and I thought that really stood out to me because, men and women are, although all people are the same, there are certain idiosyncrasies different. There's certain biological differences. And so, it was very apparent that you understood those and just, everyone, you met them where they were at. It wasn't like this cookie cutter approach where you talk to everybody the same exact way. It was like you knew exactly how to communicate to each person that you coached that day and speak to them, speak to their soul, speak to their mind, to speak to their fears, to speak to their insecurities, to speak to their lies. You knew how to find it, you knew how to discover it, and you knew how to speak to it and how to begin the process of writing that. And because it was a one day, you're able to do that at a very quick rate, and that was just I was blown away by that. And so that really stood out to me, I would say, more than anything. A lot of things stood out to me, but just that, your intuition, your understanding of people, and yeah, that was amazing, I thought.
Yeah. And was there anything personally that you got for yourself?
So much. I'm trying to be. I think I left there. I left there feeling challenged, and I left there. I had been sort of in a rut, and I left there with hope, like, which I know that sounds like, okay, how tangible is that? But like, more than anything, I needed hope. I needed the belief, and not just I needed to believe that that I could really change my life. And when I left there, it felt possible.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to come up with some tangible things, but I mean that was like the most.
Well.
That was the
That's
most thing.
huge.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that I left there with, and I just remember just feeling like just this sense of hope.
I just want to interject.
Yeah.
It was hope that saved my life.
Yeah.
Because I had already started my suicide. You understand that? So do you, by you just sharing hope.
Yeah. And I've never been suicidal. However, I have for a long time been in the state to where if I died, oh well.
Yes.
So it was never like, okay, I'm going to kill myself.
Right.
But and I can relate to someone who would feel that way.
Yeah.
But I did feel like if I did die.
Well, if you didn't get up in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't get up in the morning. You know, I would.
It would have been like, okay.
Yeah. I didn't really cared if I lived or died. It was just kind of like, is this going to be, my existence, and it's like, I really don't, but it's, for me, one of the thoughts that would come to my mind is, my family, I have a great family, and just, what that would do to them. And so I never would want to put them through that.
Right. Right.
But it was like, it didn't. When I went skydiving on my 30th birthday, my mindset was, what's the worst that could happen? I die. Oh well.
Right.
And that's just been my, the feelings that I've had for a few years now,
Yeah.
And
because you couldn't see a possible way
no.
to accomplish what in your mind consciously you desired most.
Yes, and we kind of touched on this the last time we spoke. So, the real estate and the mortgage, all those things were to give me a hope of getting out of just where I'm at.
Right.
But at the same time, I didn't pursue them because I knew that wasn't what I really wanted.
Yeah.
But just the excitement of being able to make the money, it gave me this pseudo hope. But then it was like I started to feel the emotions of hope, but it wasn't a real hope, and that's why I never really could really pursue it with any gusto. And I felt like I left there with a real hope, a hope that I believed in.
Different than what you had felt.
Not just the manufacturer. There is a counterfeit hope.
Yeah.
It's something that we kind of create or we compromise, for a short term, gain or pleasure, but that's not real. And I knew that. I knew that intuitively. And sometimes I would try to compartmentalize and not feel the falseness of it, and just but I left there feeling like I can do this, like I can. I don't necessarily see how, but I believe. And that was and then also I felt very connected to the people knew them, even though I didn't know them,
Yes.
because I really realized how we are all the same.
Yes. Yes.
And there was Karen, you did a great job of really building intimacy and safety in that environment, so that true transparency and vulnerability could take place. And everyone felt so supported, and you were just how to control energy. You know how to govern it. You know how to, and it was it was a lot of things. Sometimes it could sound kind of you start speaking spiritual. I believe that spiritual is ultimate reality.
It is. I agree.
Sometimes not everybody sees things that way.
Yeah.
And but that's just the reality. And those are the things that resonated with me, that I took. There was a lot of just a lot of spiritual change.
Yes.
That I believe will manifest itself in people's lives who attended. Physically.
Yes.
And it was such a powerful day, and I actually had arrived late, so I didn't even get to get it all. And I can only imagine what I mean, just with each person that you spoke to, how powerful it was. And so it was I can remember when I first walked in, like feeling like when you first walk in, obviously my frequency level is here, and I could feel like the room is here. It was almost like I felt like, man, like, am I qualified to be in here? And but as I stayed in there, sort of got caught in that energy, and eventually got connected to the flow that was taking place in there. And it was. So when I left there, I was on that vibe still. So it was powerful, very powerful.
Yes. Well, thank you. And I really appreciate how eloquently you described it. I feel it. I'm reliving it right now.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
My pleasure.